Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. And this is just a public service announcement for those that are frustrated finding things disappearing from the internet, or the feeling that all you're getting is kind of like sold something when you go and you do a search. I ran into something called the Yandex, and so I noticed a couple of people said, I switched to Yandex, and it's a Russian search engine, because, again, many times I'll go and look for a particular, either photo of the past or article, something that I brought up in years past, and I wanted to discuss again or bring it up as part of a point. And then you just can't find it because it seems to be scrubbed, and you go deeper and deeper, and you go many pages in, and it's still nothing's popping up in the search results. It gets very frustrating.
Mm-hmm. It does. And, you just have pages and pages and pages of nonsense that is nonsense. And even myself, when I do my own research with herbs and whatnot, a lot of information just is not... it's not relevant, or it's not there, or what I keep getting is there's no proof that this does anything at all for you. It's probably not safe to take. I mean, just what else are they going to say about things that are going to actually heal you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just last night we looked at a couple different topics, and we were kind of blown away because of the differences. When you do a Google search, and again, like with DuckDuckGo, they just kind of refine Google's search engine. And you put in this little term there, and we might get in trouble. So I'm hoping this flies, because I'm not going to talk directly about it, just showing the first things that come up. That CONS piracy theory thing. Here, I'll put the exact term in. And as you notice, it's totally different. It's totally different. And, a lot of these sites, like this one, I mean, I've referenced that. In the past, I've read articles from this site going back to the 90s, I want to say, long time ago. And, you wouldn't even think it's there anymore. Certain sites, again, topics. This shows you. I mean, what do you have over here? Rumors and CONS piracy theories. It's not a, certain type of plan, right? Over here, totally different. I mean, it couldn't be any more polar opposite. And it's not that we all want to live in Russia now, no. But just showing how the information is so controlled. And the country that has been the military and policing, the main number one military and policing force on the planet, going back to WW2, in some ways, our information has been probably the most limited. This is the thing. Oh, you're brought up in a free country. It's all an illusion. It's always been an illusion. You're brought up in the greatest country on the planet. And it's amazing how people still can't get past certain concepts. What if we had no countries? What if there were no countries? Then there couldn't be any war between countries. One person made a comment saying, well, if there were no countries, then you wouldn't have a way to defend yourself. Some things, again, the indoctrination's so deep. Defend ourselves from whom? Again, break everything down to a smaller level. What have they been doing? They're ruling with very few people, relatively speaking, to the billions on the planet, in actual positions that know what's really, really going on. You have to break it down into smaller pieces. And when people are brought up and they don't realize that everything they've always been taught is complete programming, complete programming. And then you might have thought, well, we're in the least programmed country in the world, and you turned out to be in perhaps the most programmed country in the world, or one of them, because again, they want to hand this ball off perhaps to China for a while as they roll about another, echelon in changes in the power structure. But at the same time, it is all, the narrative's collapsing on them. It's just collapsing so fast. So you cannot get more polar opposite than the results of these searches. So, where would you have a little bit more clarity? It really wouldn't be here in the U.S. And when you see this topic too, you see all sorts of false claims and et cetera, no evidence, false, yeah. And then over here, it's totally the opposite. So I just thought this was something to show. This, more than anything, shows that we are programmed from birth. And this programming is very intense. And you might not recognize it when you're taken to church on Sunday, or you go to the mosque or the temple or what have you, but it's all programming. Or even if you went on the other side of it too, and went to being a total atheist and thinking there's nothing but this particular life in this world, in some ways that absolutely serves their purpose even more, because then you'll be terrified of death, thinking that death is it, and then you'll be more likely to buy into technology for life extension, or allowing your head to be frozen cryogenically till they can revive you. This is all part of the bigger scheme that's going on. And here you have Wikipedia, which again is CIA, FBI, talking about this search engine, which is owned and based in Russia. And of course, it's propaganda from the Russian side. Yet, when we look at these topics, the majority of people probably that are our followers, on the most part, are going to think that they're getting a better search result from the Russian source.
At least an honest search result is something different than, there's no evidence on this. There's no basis to this, and gaslighting to such a high degree. This starts to level the playing field, that we know that other people know, and we're not alone. But it also showed us, how much we are really shadow banned in such a huge way, when our information can get around the world, but it can't get to YouTube.
Well, meaning like we searched our channels, and we found that we popped up far quicker over in the Russian search engine than we did in the U.S. and then Google, the Western search engine. In fact, I didn't even realize there were sources that were showing our videos and using our videos and referring to us. And there's a reason why evolutionary was, back in May of 2019, we got hammered because we were talking about what would end up becoming the plague upon the land and everything that fell into line after that. We went from having videos. We had one video that got just under 1 million views, another one that had 250,000 views, and then all of a sudden you can't get more than 2,000 or 3,000 views. Well, this is because you're labeled a certain thing by the search engine, but in fact, I don't know, maybe we actually have more followers in some countries that we never would have thought of, because they'll show us stats, and they'll show us like 69% or 65% of our people watching are from the U.S., but then all these numbers are distortions, because they're all numbers from the system that has certain objectives. So again, don't underestimate your ability to influence the world in its totality.
Right. And, this just goes to show we really appreciate your guys' support in any way, shape, or form, whether it be on Patreon, whether it be a thumbs up, whether it be sharing it somewhere. It really makes a huge difference. Obviously, they're just trying to convince us that it's not making a difference.
Yeah, we're not for any government that's currently operating on this planet, as there have been no good governments for the duration of the Kali Yuga. And truly, humanity needs to become free of all these power structures, as they don't have our best interest or the best interest of the planet in mind. And just wanted to share this with you guys again. Thank you so much for your support. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.